Hey, it's me. I'm Hubert Brown Watson.
And I'm Henry Brown Martin.
Welcome to the beloved
The
Brown
Beloved
Georgetown
Brown
podcast.
Georgetown Podcast.
Welcome back, guys. I know it's been a while since we've been on air.
Yeah, I can't tell you how much I missed this. Today's podcast will be about life in the 1800s.
I know people do not necessarily talk about this time, but it's important in American history, and the Brown podcast has a very rich history of making old historical events sound absolutely hilarious.
Well, the first question that I initially had was, who couldn't vote back in the day?
I think the answer to that question is mainly people with color and white females back in the day.
Well, I feel kind of offended by that, but you're close. But the actual people who could vote were the wealthy white men who had the land. You feel me? If you were a woman or if you were colored and didn't have land, you were able to vote. Pretty messed up in there, boy.
Yeah, I think that's kind of tough.
Yeah, that must have been unimaginable.
Especially since, like, the right to vote in those times was, like, kind of important and very essential.
You know, I mean, how would you feel if, like, you were back then, you had no land, alone, no girls as always, you just, and you just couldn't vote? How would you feel,
You know, I would feel very oppressed and sad that I was stripped of my rights.
I mean, imagine we had those laws today, how crazy would that be,
That would be, like, super crazy. But, like, me, I would, like, could never deal with that. I would want to have my right to vote, like, super bad.
Yeah, anyway, another question, who would you have voted for if you were back then in the 1800s? You feel me? With Andrew Jackson or John Quincy Adams, you know what I'm saying? So, if you could vote for anybody, who would you vote for,
Well, I know Jackson, he had a very strong view on kicking the Indians out. And, I don't think he would have stopped at just the Indians. He would have gone for, like, all the colored people. The browns, the blacks, you know what I'm saying? So I think I would have gone towards John Quincy Adams.
Well, me, I actually agree with Andrew Jackson, with that, the other thing, Because, like, let's be honest, the way he moved the Indians out of here was very touching to my heart. Now, not everybody's perfect, you feel me? But I feel like the way he handled that situation was absolutely immaculate, and I would have definitely voted for Andrew Jackson.
See, but there's a problem with that. Back in the day, most colonies were half white people, half slaves. And then you also got the Indians in the mix. And, Jackson, he didn't seem like a very inclusive person. Honestly, he probably was a racist, in my opinion. So if he went with the Indians, he'd turn around, look at his house, and see just like a black man working hard, and he'd be like, you know what? I'm not gonna stop with just the Indians. I'm gonna get the blacks out too.
Well, the two problems with statement, you feel me? Alright, look. First problem is that they were slaves, Second of all, not everybody is perfect. Back then, slaves were very common, you know what I'm saying? But he felt that, Indians had to be gone somewhere. And I completely agree, I would have kicked them out, like even today, you feel me? I would have kicked them.
Well, why do you think the Indians should have been removed?
Oh, listen. Now, before I get canceled, I have no racial prejudice against Indians, So I just feel like back then, especially with the Native Americans, I just feel like it was the right thing to do at the time. And I feel like he made a very proper and smart decision.
See, I'm gonna have to oppose your view there, cause I want to be inclusive, and I think if Jackson won, honestly, he probably would have not. I think he would have kicked everyone out besides some white people. It was kind of like Hitler and his perfect view of a white man. Jackson would also follow somewhat of what Hitler dictatorship and kick out everyone who didn't seem perfect to him, like colored people.
A little trivia for you, little boy. Hitler, he had concentration camps and they're kind of like slaves, Except Hitler, he put them in gas chambers and killed them, you feel me? That's not something a slave owner would do. See, their slaves were precious to them, and they would actually have them work in the fields for a long time. And I don't think they would just blatantly kill them like that. So,
What would you? No, I want to stop you right there. What would you prefer? Getting gassed to death with a bunch of like 50 other people, or just just for the rest of your life just working on the fields?
Listen, I bet you got that from the boy in the striped pajamas. But anyways, I'm easily working in the field. You feel me? I'm not gonna be gassed. I want to live. Now, it may not be a good way of living, but there's always a chance to get free, which is, they did get free later on that same century. So,
You know what?
I would live to be 102.
That is a point I would agree. I would honestly prefer it because there would be a chance of getting freed. Back then there was a lot of movements that helped black people get freed, and really like cultural leaders like Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, and like Frederick Douglass.
You do know that Rosa Parks was not alive back then, right?
I'm saying in that time period, if I lived like a very long time, I could also help my like children and grandchildren get free.
Yeah, but Rosa Parks was born in 1913. According to my calculations, I don't think Andrew Jackson was alive.
It doesn't matter. Anyways, I mean, I still think that I'm gonna stick with my opinion that John Adams would have been a better vote. That's what I would have voted, because to be more inclusive and not have any racism in my hometown or my colony. You know what I'm saying?
I got one more question for you. You know what I'm saying? You got Thomas Jefferson and you got John Adams. Who you pick as your president?
I think, as my president, well, I honestly think that Thomas Jefferson would be a better. Actually, I think Thomas Jefferson, because one, I mean, I don't know much about the guy, but he seemed like a pretty good president, and I think he would be a better fit than John Adams as a president, because he would just, be more understanding and like have more experience.
Well, I agree with you. Anyways, we're out of time today. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. We'll be back probably next week.
Yep.
But yeah, do you want to say, BB?
Nope. Well, that's it for today's Brown Georgetown podcast.